We've seen it in the movies. Now let's see if it's true. Everybody has a summer holiday, doing things they always wanted to. So we're going on a summer holiday to make our dreams come true.
Well, you make my dreams come true every day from 4. Tomorrow, All Request Friday. Have a lovely night. Joe on the way next.
This is Radio 2 on BBC Sounds.
And on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 7 o'clock. This is Catherine Cracknell. The government's to launch a legal challenge in response to a demand from the COVID-19 public inquiry that it hands over a large cache of documents, including Boris Johnson's WhatsApp messages. The Cabinet Office has been resisting the release of what it believes to be irrelevant information and is now seeking a judicial review. There had been a deadline to submit the material by 4 o'clock this afternoon. In a letter to the inquiry, the government said it had brought the case with regret, but there were important issues of principle at stake. Dorset police say they've ruled out suggestions that a 12-year-old girl and 17-year-old boy who died after being pulled from the sea off Bournemouth yesterday were hit by a boat or jet ski. A further 8 people were rescued and treated on the beach. A man in his 40s is being held on suspicion of manslaughter. The leader of Bournemouth Council, Vicky Slade, said making the beach safe for everyone was a top priority.
This incident needs to be investigated properly and we are confident with our partners that any lessons that need to be learned in the future will be learned.
The NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says he plans to travel to Turkey soon to discuss the country's objections to Sweden joining the alliance. The Swedish Prime Minister described the journey towards NATO membership, which began shortly after Russia invaded Ukraine last year, as a marathon, not a sprint. A man with cerebral palsy has won a discrimination case against the retail chain Home Bargains after he was told don't play the disability card when he questioned a change to his duties. Ryan Walker, who worked in a branch of the store in Armagh, received £25,000 after alleging the company failed to provide reasonable adjustments for him. Home Bargains settled the case without admitting liability. Mr Walker said the way he'd been treated at work had upset him.
It made me feel unwanted. Because if I had a reasonable adjustment and they're going against it, I was feeling like sort of left out, and I just was very low, like.
Drivers in Glasgow are familiarising themselves with a new low-emission zone, the first of its kind to be introduced in Scotland. It aims to reduce air pollution by banning certain vehicles. Donald McLeod from the Nighttime Industries Association in Scotland thinks the LEZ is unnecessary.
Vehicles are changing naturally. Forcing this is just another attack on the lower-income families. Homeless charities, they need new vehicles. First aid charities need new vehicles.
A young donkey which was stolen from a farm in Hampshire more than 2 weeks ago has been found safe and well. Yesterday, police received reports that the young animal called Moon had been found at an address in High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire. Moon's owners say they're delighted to have the donkey back. And the weather, a cloudy evening for much of England, largely clear and sunny across the rest of the UK. And that's the BBC News at 7:03.
Thank you, Catherine.
Joe Wiley's Shiny Happy Playlist.
There's going to be big tunes.
Blowing the roof off Radio 2.
Shiny Happy. If you want to get absolutely bouncing,
This is where it's at. BBC Radio 2.
And thanks, Sarah, for another brilliant show. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? How's your day been? If you want to let me know, then all you need to do is drop me a text. It's 88291. If you want to email, it's joe.wiley@bbc.co.uk. It'd be very lovely to hear from you. And we're going to start the whole thing off, as always, with the Shiny Happy Playlist.
The Shiny Happy Playlist on BBC Radio 2.